Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 17th episode of Progress with Us, and today we are joined by Mr. Levi Stefan, the coach. Pleasure to have you on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
This has been in the making since late January when we interviewed a guest who has been on the show twice, your cousin Bailey.
Yes.
Mr. Bailey,
Yeah. No, he said a lot of good things about it, and great to have me on. To be honest, I'm excited to be here. So my first one that I've ever done as well. So it's one of those where you're watching podcasts, and you think, I'd love to do a podcast one day. And now we're here.
We always kind of get a nice buzz when it's people's first episode because they've been invited on.
Yeah.
And it's very new.
Yeah.
But you've done public speaking.
Done public speaking, yeah, and I've had some discussions where we've been on camera and stuff, but not actually where we're sitting down. The discussions and speaking is generally where I'm like educating something, or it's not really about me or a general discussion. It's purposeful for an education purpose.
Well, we can start the first one with a bang then.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you say you were sitting down filming things, what were you doing that for? For PT?
Yeah, for PTing, mainly all around education. So, teaching clients or just the public about health and things like that, really. So, that's what I do. I'm a coach, live in the fitness industry, live and breathe it, to be quite honest. So, yeah, just helping people to become better versions of themselves. And there's no better way to do that than have a discussion, in a conversation. Pretty much what we were speaking about pre-podcast. We knew we'd bring this on, but it isn't. Everything starts with a discussion. So, yeah, having a good chat with people and letting them to understand more around what they can do to become better. And that's kind of what I've done all my adult life, to be honest.
So how many people do you think you've worked with throughout your career, even like gym floor included?
Gym floor included. I mean, my main stint was on the gym floor. I did that nearly 10 years. Hundreds, and obviously on the gym floor where I was working, the gym I was at, I was the busiest PT, would never say no, which learning now is not always a good thing because you end up burning out.
Would you say like more is better or not then? Because a lot of coaches are kind of 50-50
what is it,
about
quantity, quality, trying to bring them both in really. I think it's like anything though, being a PT back in them days when I were, 2021, it was all new, so I think you've got to get experience in everything you do. And you've got to sometimes say yes to a lot of opportunities, whether you think they're the best or not, to really learn if that's good or not. We can all have a perfect plan, but without actually understanding what the other options are, or like I say, working with so many clients or different clients, how do you know what your perfect client is, or how do you know what's too much? Because have you hit the threshold yet?
Do you think that is it's changed a lot then from when you first started to now? Because obviously I don't know how long have you been doing it for? About, did you say 10, 15 years?
Yeah, so PTing on gym floor for 10 years, just under 10 years it was. It's really interesting actually. I find it interesting because the way that my life went is, growing up, always sport, played football from a young age at quite a decent level, got to semi-pro when I was 14.
Who are you playing for?
I was got to a team called Sutton Town Football Club. It's like a Mansfield team, playing in like one of the lower semi-professional leagues. But again, it was being 14, 15, made the first team at 16. It was pretty cool. Do you know what I mean? Played in like a small little stadium type thing. So, as a young lad, it's like you're on the way to potentially becoming a professional player and things. And that was a dream. But whilst I was doing that, I grew up, I was like doing jiu-jitsu, I was into boxing as well. Mainly jiu-jitsu though, that's like one of my main combat backgrounds, if you like, from being a young lad, from being 8, I was sort of about at 6 to being about 14. I got my black belt, but then I was like teaching and stuff, and I think being that age, you wanted to keep learning, and I had to wait to be 16 to do my weapons training, so kind of just put that on the back burner. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, is like I PT'd on the gym floor. I had that for 10 years, and then I just got burnt out, which is why working too many hours, never saying no. I kind of learned the lesson the hard way because I would just become unmotivated. Like I say, work become a bit of a stress. It was just that mundane day in day out stuff, and end up just like I say burning out. So I actually just left the gym floor and worked some what I would call normal jobs, but they're not normal jobs. Worked on a building site, which was interesting. A client had a business, and I was just like, I just need a break from
that makes sense.
Yeah, the responsibilities of having clients, and obviously, I've got it back now working online, but it's like, as a coach, as a PT, you're helping people improve their life. So, you know, that comes with the emotional stuff, the physical stuff. Like, you know, you're quite involved in their life. So when you've got so many clients, it's like, it's not having kids, but you've got so many. I feel responsible, and I am responsible for their result. And obviously that comes with all these challenges. So I had a break, and I worked on a building site for a year, which was fun. You know, working like an 8 till 4 on Ecky Road, actually. Funnily enough, there's a place. Trying to think where it is now. Where Nana's is. There's a little side road just down the side of the co-op. There's some new apartments that were built. You might recognise when you go past now. It's actually got a courtyard area where there's like shops and I think
Dyson Place.
Dyson Place. There we go.
Place.
I helped build that.
Oh,
yeah, Dyson Place.
It's relatively new.
I should have known that because it was called Dyson Place then. Relatively new into the last few years. So I helped build that, and it was like a fun experience for me because working on a normal site. Full of blokes, obviously, the camaraderie, the banter, the stuff that I kind of didn't have, the stuff that I had when I was footballing. So
that period between, so you will have left school when you were 16 or 18?
Yeah, 16, went to college 2 years, did a national diploma in sports science, again, just because it was like fitness and sport, seemed like the normal thing to do, but I didn't really do anything, I didn't do anything with that. Obviously, I utilised my education from that into the PT world, I guess. But yeah, just worked some like normal jobs. It was good. It was refreshing, and a big but is I realised soon enough that doing these 9 to 5 jobs just wasn't what I was made to do. You know that like just had this voice in my head saying like you want to do more on this, or not like I deserve more on this, but I was saying no, like you need to do more for yourself. This is not what you were made to do. Like I don't want to just clock in and clock out. You know.
Do you know, so for people like who are watching, who might not kind of know the difference between being like on the floor PT and online coach. Because obviously on socials you see it a lot. You see obviously the guys who work in pure gym, the gym, whatever, on the floor, and then the dudes who just have like bodybuilding coach or whatever in the bio. So what's kind of the difference for people who are unaware about that? Yeah, so I mean, being a PT on the gym floor compared to an online coach is definitely the biggest difference is the physical interaction that you're going to get when you've got PT at the gym. You'll have that one-to-one session with them for an hour or whatever you want for the time, and generally you'll have that session once a week or however many sessions you have, and you'll have that say where they can critique your training, your technique, and it's very personal, in that sense. But then obviously, again, it is evolving. But when I was PT, it was like, you'd have a session for half an hour, and then I'd see you next week. And you'd have a diet plan and some training plan, but it wasn't like on the apps like it is now. It was pretty much like, you know, you'd send them an email with stuff on, and then you just trust that they do it. And was there a check-in process? Not always. The check-in would be the next session. Whereas online coaching for me, it's like having this bird's eye view of somebody's lifestyle, everything that involves their well-being. You know, so as a coach right now, you know, I help them to understand everything around the training. So we've got educational stuff on that. We've got obviously a coaching app which has got everything in there when it comes to training tutorials. I love the training side of actually training. Like I love the biomechanics and all the sciencey stuff. Like I can go in on it, but you know, Susan from Slough probably doesn't want to know. So I've been online coaching now nearly 2 years, and the first year of that was me relearning again how to be a coach effectively, because PTing is one style of coaching that I did, and again it is evolving, and I think, you know, as a PT now you can somewhat simulate a bit of an online coaching approach with apps and check-ins and make sure that you're getting it right. But for me, the first year was just about getting good at being a coach again. I invested heavily in mentors, coaching mentors, business mentors, to really learn it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to pay with two things, aren't you, in your life? You're going to pay with time or pay with money. You know, the time it takes to learn something, which if you're doing it on your own can take you a long time, depends how good you are, or you pay somebody to teach you, to fast track you the way to learn something.
Something as well about coaches I saw. It was a coach who had coached two people who we kind of know, like same-ish group in Sheffield. And I took a look at his page like a year after I'd seen him coach these guys, and his following's completely blown up. And then he'd done a video about how he'd worked with a marketing agency that helped coaches. And I just thought, like, you know, with educators in general or coaches or whatever, they, you know, you're an expert in helping people dial in their health, dial in their fitness. But then there is also the entire business side of things that need taking care of as well.
100%. And that's been the biggest challenge for me even now working through some things, you know, as a as a businessman now, I'm a coach. It's like I look at it as an umbrella, you know, and each umbrella little, I don't know what you'd call them, but each umbrella part has got a part of what you need to give yourself to that business. So like I say, you're the businessman, you're the marketer, you're the coach, you're the educator, the motivator, the content creator. Yeah. So all of a sudden, I'm not just this PT online, I'm a businessman / coach, and that's a mindset shift.
Do you kind of have anybody that helps you then, or is it just you?
Yeah, so I'm in a couple of mentorships that help me to really just make sure that I'm on the right track with, you know, business, and are we doing the marketing, are we doing the daily non-negotiables? And again, like, the parallels between business and fitness for me are so similar. It's like, you know, to be healthy, you want to make it sound exciting and sexy, but it's not. It's just doing the same stuff day in, day out, you know. Yeah. Get a walk every day, go out for a walk. Like, people say 10K steps a day, fantastic. If you want to challenge yourself to a 10K a day, do it. But just get outside for a 30-minute walk a day, drink enough, you know, 2 to 3 litres of water. It depends on your size, I guess, but generally speaking, 2 to 3 litres of water a day, you know, eating 2 to 3 meals a day, good quality protein. Again, you could say you could eat 1 meal a day, you could do 2, you could do 5, it doesn't really matter. It's what's the most consistent way that you're going to get results? Is it eating 1 meal a day, or eating 5 meals a day, or is it somewhere in between? And most people are in between, like that, 3. Most people from a young age are learnt to have breakfast, lunch and dinner. Yeah, that's 100%. What our default setting is. So let's go back to where let's for me, I try to work as close to familiarity as possible. Yeah. Because if again, someone wants to go, I want to lose weight, Levi, I want to get in shape, and you know, I want to change my life. It's like perfect. But then if I give you a completely different lifestyle, which would work for anybody and everybody, but it's nothing like what you've done before. There's no familiarity in there. You're gonna have natural resistance. You're gonna have friction.
So is your client base then just anyone and everyone, or is it?
Yeah, so I have got a little bit of sorry for putting in. I have got a specific little niche where, you know, for me, I want to work with people who have over the years like lost confidence, feel a bit like, you know, they're struggling in their current situation, which is something I can relate to. You know, they want to create an undeniable mindset, which for me is about, you know, undeniable for me is about not telling yourself no anymore. It's about that no quit attitude. Yeah, it's going to get hard. Trust me, it's meant to be hard though, isn't it? Business, fitness, everything we do is going to be difficult at some point. So it's about having that attitude to no matter what, to keep persevering. And again, having the support, having a plan in hand. You can't do anything without a plan, in my opinion. You can wing it as much as you want, but eventually you're going to fall short on something. So having a plan and then having some kind of accountability and action around that. And for me, again, it's I don't mind working with men, working with women. You know, at the minute I'm probably looking at, I'd like to work with a few more dads and parents, because being a dad myself, it's all about relatability. No point me coaching. I mean, I could coach young lads or older men and stuff and things and get them a result on health, but I also like to, I don't know, there's something about connecting with a client who you can relate to in some way, shape or form. And like, when you get somebody a result, that for me is what it's about, because I've been that. Even growing up, I've been into fitness and been in, I say, you know, shape, but I was growing up a chubby kid. You know, I got an older brother, 2.5 years older than me, you know, would call me fat all the time and give me, it's banter, but when you're young, you don't know it's banter. It's hard, and it destroys a part of your confidence and you become insecure. And then, you know, growing up, it's like, I remember when I was like getting into the gym at 16, 17, 18, and I just was on all the creatine and stuff, and, you know, you blow up, and that's not, and again, that was like where I was also like that chubby, stocky kid, you know, because I'd like had that phase. But when I was footballing, I've always been a stockish kid, but when I was footballing, I lost a bit of weight, but then I started to train again, I put this weight back on, so I had that feeling of being fat again, and I was like, I want to get in shape and feel good, and at the time, it was more for probably a vanity thing, and so, you know, girls get attracted to girls. I think when you're young, that's what it was for me anyway. I just wanted to go out and meet people and probably attract a few girls, you know, and that's what...
Well, that's how it always starts.
I think that's just just being real, isn't it? You know, there's nothing wrong with that. If it gets you going, great. But then obviously you realise the sustainability around that. You can't keep basing your physique and your training and your get up and go based on, hopefully I'm going to meet a girl this weekend, because, you know, it's not sustainable, it's not long term, is it? So... but no, for me, like, you know, it's just, it's when people do get a result, and like they say to me, you know, Levi, I feel the best I've ever felt. My kids, I've got so much more energy for my kids. My business is better. My wife are having better days. Or it could be with a husband, like, I know what that feels like to get that result and look in the mirror and go, wow, you look great. Like, put a pair of clothes on and look good in it. Like, you're wearing clothes size that you thought you'd never wear. You've gone from an extra large to a medium, or for ladies, you've gone from an 18 to a 12. And it's like, that for me is like the pinnacle of the coaching, where they're just saying to you, like, thank you, and, you know, I feel the best I've ever felt. And
I feel like you having that passion towards your clients as well is what makes a good coach.
Yeah. Rather
than just being that coach who's just like, I just want you to get shredded.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like, even with that, you know, there's that for me is always going to be short-lived. I know coaches who just work with just lads or girls who just want to get you ripped. And again, that there's a market for that. 100% there's a market for that. And, you know, they're in it to make some good money and to get people in good shape. But what does that teach people long term? And that's where kind of I want to really change people's ideology around what is long term sustainability. You know, the word sustainability, I think, is used probably in a way where, what is sustainability? Like, it's difficult to even put your finger on it sometimes, because life constantly can change, can't it? Mm-hmm. Unless you live, you know, out the way in the middle of a bloody hill, and you've got, you know, the basic needs, and it's the same mundane stuff each and every single time, which probably sounds bliss, to be quite honest. But what is sustainability in a world that we live in today? It's difficult, isn't it? Because it's so many variables that change in your life. We get older, things change, interests, food types, you know, you go from drinking to being teetotal, you go from that to that, you meet people, you know, what is sustainability? I think it sometimes can be difficult to put your finger on it.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. You're making me think now.
Because we've got this ideology around it, but it's like, well, what is sustainability for me? It's simple, it's form. And it's like, well, if I want to stay in shape and stay healthy, what's sustainable? Well, can I commit to training 3 days a week? Yeah. What, for a year? Yeah. As a bare minimum? Yeah, okay. Like, I used to be the guy in the gym was 5, 6, 7 days a week. I've got to get big, I've got to get shredded, got to be in the gym all the time. But is that sustainable when you're now a dad and you've got a business to run and your time's stretched? No. Yeah, you know, so the ideology around that, you know, is also where a lot of people come to me and they challenge, because I think, Levi, I want to get in shape, I want to build muscle, lose weight. It's like, okay, what have you done in the past? Yeah, well, I used to train 5 days a week, I used to be in the gym 2 hours, and I used to eat, you know, 4 times a day, and I used to have these protein shakes, and I used to do this, and it's like, you know, it's like, sounds like a lot. Yeah. Sounds exhausting, actually.
Would you say that you get more people who've come to you who have trained in the past and not found a system that works, or do you get more people who have never done anything?
Yeah, it's been a combination, and you even saying that, my kind of next niche, I do want to start working with people who have trained in the past, like myself, come from a bodybuilding background, whose ideology is still, I need to eat 5 times a week, 5 times a day. I need to be in the gym, you know, 5 times a week, and it's like it's just so much to commit to when you're not the same person that you used to be. Mm-hmm. And again, like, it pains me when people say, I just want to be like I was when I was in my 20s. You know, I think, well, you're never going to be that person, and you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. Why would you're going to go back to being young and, you know, like, you know, no ideology around anything that you're doing, or just being, you know, uneducated or whatever it is. But like, for me, it's about now remolding what the next steps for you look like, and being able to just still take what you want, which is, again, comes back to what I was saying earlier on. I want to get in shape, and I want to be healthy, and I want to be high energy and productive and be a really good dad, mum. It's like, okay, perfect. Then, so what do you need? And that's the need part. People think, well, to do that, I need to do this, which again comes down to the eating multiple times, or starving yourself. Yeah. The extreme is, people think the biggest one. Again, I work with people who want to put muscle on, which, you know, is great because it's more fun. You can eat more food, brilliant. But most clients I work with want to lose fat, and their experience of that is restricting calories, you know, really low, and then yo-yo dieting, effectively, where you'll eat really less all week, you'll go to gym multiple times a week, try to do as much output, exercise as they can, but then they get on the scales of the weekend, they might only see a pound loss, or might see nothing, no weight loss, and they think, I'm done. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Right, order the Domino's, get me a crate of beer, I don't care, they're going to hit the, I don't want to swear, but the F it button. Can you swear on this podcast? Yeah, before we keep it PG. But they'll hit the fuck it button. Yeah. Yeah, and if we hit the fuck it button, what happens next? Generally, anything happens, anything goes. It's a dangerous place to be. I can imagine. For yourself, to just give yourself the, I don't care what happens next. You know, and we'll do that.
So how do you try and work with your clients to kind of help them understand that this process isn't going to be quick.
Yeah.
Like, do you kind of lay that as a boundary early on and say, look, if you want to work with me, this is something that's going to take you 6 months?
Yes. Yeah. I think long-term results is what we want. But I have created a system that helps me to get a quick return on the investment. Yeah, so investment is in the money that they invest in me straight away. I want them to feel like they're going to get something back initially. So the time and energy that they put into training, I've created a system where, you know, you're going to eat great food, but I make sure that the food you're eating is within the range of your output, so that you can, especially for weight loss clients, I want them to have that first week or first 2 weeks and be like, Levi, I'm two pounds down, or I'm 4 pounds down. I'm like, yes, I've got you. Now you're believing. Now we're changing the belief system. Now this new way of living does work. I'm doing a walk. I'm doing a walk a day. I'm being in the gym twice a week. Like, that's what I'm saying is, I've had so many people come to me and they think they've got to do everything, but then I say, well, no, let's just do half of that, and they're like, yeah, but is that going to work though? I'm like, yeah, just trust the process. Food's key, hydration's key, sleep's key. What's your sleep like? Yeah, it's all right. I'm in bed at 9:30. What time to get up? 7. What time to go to sleep? Probably about 11, 12. What are you doing between 9 and 12? Sat on my phone. What are you doing? TikTok or YouTube? It's like, right, okay. So quality sleep's not there then either, because now we're being wide awake. The brain doesn't know that it's bedtime. It's got this big blue light in its face. I don't know whether to release natural melatonin and all this stuff. Like, it's just, but the minute you get someone hooked in, and you get a little bit of return on the investment. Like I say, phase 1 for me. So my overarching program is called Unbreakable System, but the program that I've built within that is one of them is called Built to Last. So long term. And the phases that I built on it's on the word called last. So phase 1 is the launch phase, which is the first 4 weeks. We're just getting you going. Like, even as a coach for me, we can have the perfect program, but it's always still an element of trial and error. There's always a little bit of wiggle and a bit of, not guesswork, but I'm getting, so let's start you on this, and then I'm literally assessing you every day, but at the end of the week, I'm assessing you, right? What, when you've completed everything, it's like obviously a weight drop, or what's your energy like, or what's your sleep been like, recovery, and just managing all these variables of what I'm looking for to improve, basically. And again, like phase 1 is that first 4 weeks of something new, and that's when people come to you and they're highly motivated. So you can probably push them a bit as well, and make sure you lay the foundations of the expectations and boundaries and say, this is what I expect of you. And most people are complaining because they've just spent a nice little fortune to do this. Invested.
I was going to say, like, what are the main reasons that people do say, fuck it, and they decide to invest in something like this? Because I feel like with a lot of people, I was in a situation with my mentor where I wanted it, but I needed something to happen that made me go, fuck it, do you know what, I need this. So what are some of the most common reasons that people come to you and they're like, look, I'm sick of like being overweight, or I want to put on muscle? What are their main reasons? Change.
I think if you can, the conversation I have before I sign anybody, before anyone comes on board, I go through it all with them, understand more about them. Like, for me, it's called a discovery call. You can call it a wellness call, a coaching call, whatever, right? But for me, when I get someone booked in on a sales call, or like I say, it's difficult because I'm not even really money motivated. Which, if my business mentor watches this, he knows this, and he's like, he probably wishes I was a little bit more driven by money. Do you know what I mean? And I should be, because I want to build a good living for my family and keep celebrating those financial wins, I guess. But for me, it's getting someone on a call and getting to know them and understanding more around what it is that they struggled with, and just giving them, like I said, it's looking at where they are right now, what's happened in the past, and then where they want to be in the future, and actually using that as a way to kind of bring them into understanding, and again, like, people are going to come to you because they've seen something, they've seen a testimonial, a transformation, something's hooked them in, and I think, I want that. I want to be that person. I want to feel that good. I want to wear that bikini like she's wearing, or I want to be able to set my top up like him, or even just, like, say, wear some clothes that are 3-4 sizes smaller than what you are right now. But for me, again, on a call, it's about really understanding what it is that they want. Like I said to you earlier on, it's such a common theme. What do you want and what do you need? This is what you want. I'm going to give you what you need. That's where I come in. 100%. Yeah, and it's about aligning those two things together so that they can see how this works. And again, like with my program, you've got the phase 1, which is the launch phase 2, which is amplify, which is where we're now. And again, it's LAST, so it's the last is the what's the word like? There we go. I knew you. And again, sometimes words like that, my mind. I've not got dyslexia, but I feel like I've definitely got ADHD, so I feel like my mind's like trying to chuck this word at the door, and I'm like,
you've been like 16 years since you left school. We only left school.
Yeah.
It's the kind of things to remember.
But it's so using them letters as a way to also build this phase, and it's like having a roadmap, having a plan. When I coached for the first year, I didn't really have that, and I was kind of just winging it, but based on my knowledge and expertise to be able to still get a great result. But I think people want to see where they're going. It's like having a sat nav, like me coming here today, it's like, we're based in such and such. Without a sat nav, I might know the direction, but then after a few miles, I'm going to be like, shit, which way do I go? And that's what happens.
You're taking the long route to get there, right?
Yeah, or you just get completely lost, which is what happens on people on fitness journey.
Yeah, 100%.
Do it. The intention is I want to lose weight, so I know I've got to eat better food and exercise. Okay, we'll start doing that. Like, I don't know, what's the better food? Chicken, salad, maybe some fish. I don't know what people's ideas, but general stuff like that. But then after the first few days or a week or so, it's like, where do I go from here? I can't, and it's like, so not having a plan is where you fall off track. But so for me, it's like I like to think about it as a roadmap, as a bit of a sat nav, This is where we're going to go from A to B, from B to C. By this point, you'll experience this. And, as long as you do what we say, but that's where coach comes in with the accountability and the support. And again, it's just, giving people something to actually look forward to. Yeah. At the end of the day, I always I say leave it on this. It's like, we get one life from what we know. One life, we live and we die. Which is kind of the bottom line, black and white. I keep it as black and white as I can because it's the truth, innit? It's like, do you want to stay, do you want to stay where you are right now? And if that's the case, keep doing what you're doing because you're going to keep getting what you're getting. Or, you can take leap of faith, have a look at it, and take this opportunity to actually have somebody who genuinely wants you to get a result. And I base my business on results. Yeah. I'm not going to take your money and then be like, well, I'm not really about to get a result. I've got your money now. Again, I'm not really money motivated. So you getting that result for me is a top priority. Yeah. And I want to make sure you get that. And again, that hopefully comes through on the call as well. But for me, it all plays a role. Getting people in, get that first month in, but that first week, let's get some kind of return on your investment. Let's get that first few pounds off. Let's celebrate the morning walks. Let's celebrate the daily 2 litres of water. Yeah, let's give that encouragement. Well done,
You need those small wins. Like the first thing on the first call that I had with my mentor, I had an old diary lying around with dates on it, and he was like, just write down anything that went well in your day on there. Yeah. And in a month, I will have finished that book, and I've written it in every single day for 11 months. It's amazing. Now. And every evening I sit down and I'm like, right, today has been a good day. But you need that because it can be so easy to get overwhelmed by if things. Let's say you've got a goal and you haven't met it. And you're beating yourself up about it, but that always just gives me a chance to kind of sit back and think do you know what? Yeah. I have still made progress, and I can see it because it's written down every night. You know what I mean? But you need those small wins.
Sometimes it might be the same stuff you're writing down, which I think can discourage people. It's like, well, I did that yesterday. It's like, do it again. Yeah. So I did that 2 days ago. Do it again. It's working, isn't it? It's like, let's be consistently good, not occasionally great. Let's just be good at doing the basic stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what works. Yeah. 100%. And even for me, with business, I've had some highs and some last year we had a fantastic year. For the first 7-8 months, I was flying, and then again, I got engaged, which was amazing, and I kind of just took my foot off the gas and got a bit complacent. Yeah. And got a bit lazy. And then had Christmas in the winter period, and then this year has been about, now I've had a year, because experience is everything in anything we do, like we were speaking about earlier on, and it's about, right, what went well last year? Well, go through them wins and look at the data and be like, okay, brilliant, what didn't go so well? And, for me, it's about getting better at doing the things that need to be working on, obviously, and again, when it comes back to fitness, there's so many parallels, I love it, I see it all the time, it's about, like I say, for me, coming on this program for me is you're going to have the opportunity to, if you do your walk a day, let's say you do 10,000 steps every single day, I'm going to pat you on the back and celebrate that with you. Yeah. Maybe your friends don't. Maybe they do for the first week, but then no one really cares. Yeah. I'll keep saying to you, awesome, great work. You did 12,000 yesterday. Amazing, mate. If that's what our focus is, again, for me, clients come on board and when in the launch phase, they might be really good at drinking water. So I know I've got to put my focus on that. It's all right. It's okay celebrating all the good stuff because it's good to say well done. But then it's like, well, actually, protein's a little bit low most days. What's happening there? We seem to be lacking there. Or you only go to the gym twice a week. What's happening there? We said we do 3 days a week. And it's about, again, just saying to people, this is a big one with clients is, and I've had it many times where people do want to train, probably don't do twice a week. It's like, well, we set to do 3 times a week, and we said we'd do a half an hour walk a day, which might not sound like a lot, but for some people it is. It's like, and by doing these 2 things with the food, etc., you'll get this result by this date. So I do like say a roadmap, and most people can lose 1% of the body weight a week, based on what I've got on my systems. Which again, if you're 100 kilogram, in 20 weeks you can be 80 kilogram. Which is only 5 months. It's a big amount of weight for people. Someone who might have been 100 kilogram for 10 years. 10 years of pain and suffering and no confidence and bad choices and all the stuff that comes with it. I'm going to be able to help you now rectify and change the next 5 months of your life to set you up for the rest of your life. So again, it coming back to what you're saying is how do you get someone to kind of take that plunge? It kind of all plays into that. It's not just the one thing that's going to make someone commit and be good throughout it all. It's about giving them milestones and setting small goals, and expectations is a big one.
So for each person you have, I was going to say you've got so much that goes into each individual. How many people do you generally have on at the moment to be able to do that for multiple people?
So again, it ranges, but as an average at the minute, working anywhere between 25 to 35 people. I work within another coaching consultant company as well, so help with him with a few clients because he's got hundreds of clients. So I like kind of just help him with a few specific ones, take the load, and it comes with a challenge, to be quite honest. But this is why you get a business mentor. This is why you get a coaching mentor. Like I've had a coach who's helped me become a better coach, understand more around physiology, psychology, around people's decision making and food, whatever it is. It's about being able to then have systems in place. Automate certain things, like when it comes to like someone's check-in, instead of me having to send out an email every week, like time for your check-in, complete your photos, update on the app, etc. It all gets done automatically. It's saying onboarding. When someone comes on board, it's having an email sequence or an onboarding landing page, and you're able to.
What do you have your email sequences on?
Aweber. Yeah. I work with. I actually work with a company who set this up with me as well. But yeah, you probably.
It's my area of expertise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's it got actually? And again, that one thing, email marketing is a bit. This it's massive. It's great. It's become personal because people do read their emails. Something that I've got to work on a bit better on, because again, keep up with that can sometimes and again it's like I've got to do that, and that's kind of where I get caught up a lot, is all of a sudden I can be a rabbit in the headlights. I'm like, I've got too many things happening in a minute, so and as much as you can have the best mentor in the world and stuff, you've still got to find your own way.
100%.
And do it the way that you need to do it, that's effective for you and the one that you can be the most consistent with. And
it's insane. Look, and he's just cruising through with his suit on.
All kinds of creatures, a million heartbeats, a million eyes.
Yeah, he's fucking mad.
Look, watch. Look, they are genuinely in the middle of the jungle.
In a very remote part of the western Amazon basin, and because of the proximity of the Andean cloud forest to the lowland tropical
levels.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do that one day. At the top, we'll do a hike.
Yes.
With a table. Bring the table up.
Yeah.
It's like weighted high.
That's what I think. And again, this is like even just you saying that. Then like I've done a thing before. I've done like a day retreat, and on the retreat we did some hiking. It's all around like the 4 elements. So you do like earth, water, fire, and ice. So the earth would be the hike. We did a hike, and then we did some breath work. Like Wim Hof style breath work, where you lay down and we do the big inhalations and exhalations.
Clapping for the camera.
clapping me in there. And then you do a cold dip. Okay, we did it in the Lake District actually. So you've got the big lakes, and then and then we sat around the fire at the end and had some nice food and just talked. And they're the best conversations.
Yeah.
So I want to do something again, like another idea that I want to really get going is like doing like which I think will take off, is like a dopamine detox or digital detox or a retreat.
Please
3, 5, 7 day retreat.
We'll be your first
We will be there.
Where the first thing you do when you walk in is you hand over your phone and like anything that's like technology based, and like you don't have anything on you, and like you say, you're in that retreat, you'll do 3 days and everything will be based around some like meditation, yoga, but not even that specifically. Just being away with technology, we do some reading, maybe we do some walks and eat some good healthy foods, like really organic. Just having a detox, having a reset, a full reset.
Do you think 3 days would be enough?
I think it'll be enough to get someone to like want to do more, and I think it'll be enough for people who live such a fast life now. 3 days is a long time with no phone.
Yeah.
When was last time have you ever done 3 days without a phone? Probably when you were.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So like even doing a day without a phone.
Joe, the last time I probably spent like no time on my phone was when we went to Zante 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Even at Leeds Festival.
I didn't really go on my phone at that
Even
holiday.
at Leeds Festival, I went on my phone.
Yeah.
I found a way to get data to go on my phone and like check football scores and UFC highlights and stuff.
And like we're so like distracted and we're so not present. And that for me is like, are we really living if we're not actually being present in the moment all the time? Or like I say, just go on. When I used to go on holiday, 2 weeks, whatever, I used to literally put my phone in the side drawer of my bedside or in the safe, because social media wasn't really popping like it is now, obviously. So you didn't feel the need to be on your phone as much. And I remember always thinking though, like I used to look forward to put my phone away and being like, no phone, so no one can text me, not talking to no one. And I would just be on holiday for 2 weeks and just be living in it and just become the version of myself that I can be free and feel like I can meet new people and just live in the moment, I guess, and then pick your phone up on the way out. But it's like, even doing that now, you know, it's I said this earlier on.
It's like when you go to a concert or a music event now, 99% of the people there, they're not even living, like enjoying it. They're just there
watching
with the
through
camera.
the phone.
It's fucking nice.
So
it does my head in a bit as well.
100%. It's quite sad in a way that it's become that, because it is what it is. But this weekend just gone, my sister-in-law, she's having a baby, so we did a baby shower. Generally feel amazing, and we set the tripod up to get the reaction of the family when the canisters went off, and we got someone recording my sister and a fella and everything, and you know. The reaction camera of everyone watching was like this, and and my missus said it just kind of took it away a little bit of everyone like being like yes, like oh my god, because everyone's like yes, and all over the phone, and it kind of you actually watch it and go, you notice everyone's on the phone.
I think there are, even though we can't get away from it for like 3 days at a time. Yeah. I think there are things that you can, like, so for example, whenever I'm with my girlfriend, I'll turn my phone off. Yeah. And I'll just leave it in a different room. Yeah. Or like right now, recording, my phone's off on my back, because like I need to be here right
present,
now. And like when you're with people, do you know, if you sat around a table, I think everyone can make the decision to decide, I'm just going to leave my phone in my pocket. Yes. Like, but it takes... You know, it takes everyone to do that. But I think there are small opportunities like that people have where just turn it off. Don't turn it on silent, turn it off. Yes. Or put it in black and white.
Yes.
If you have made it to this point in the video, we just want to say a massive thank you for the support that you guys have shown us recently. And if you want to support us a little bit more, drop this video a like, share it with family, friends, or anyone else who might find it interesting, and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you again shortly. So you said that your son is 2. How have your systems changed since becoming a dad?
Yeah, no, it's been the biggest blessing. It's the biggest challenge of my life, but the one that does keep giving, and the one that he teaches me more about myself than I realised. We as parents, you're seen as the teachers and the providers and stuff, which we are, but then as a teacher, he teaches me so much more about myself. Mm-hmm. Growing up for me, didn't have my biological father in my life, was in and out, so to speak. So I say that out now because, I've done quite a lot of therapy on this, and it's kind of part of my story, so it's important that I recognise that. And for me, it's like, I know what it's like not to have a present dad and someone who cares. Whereas, for me, I'm doing everything in my power now to be the best dad that I can be and be present. And if anything, I find thanks I try and, people say, oh, you need to forgive your past. For me, I'll never forgive, but I can definitely say thank you, because I'm now allowing that to kind of go by, and just take the lessons from that, and now I'm able to become the best at it. But it's amazing. He's full of energy, he's a proper little, say, mini version of me, but he's it's amazing, man.
You talked about that kind of balance as well before, in terms of like you've cut your training down and things like that.
Yeah.
So how has that kind of transition been since?
Yeah, exactly. So so with that, what you said, what's the system's changed? Yeah, so for me now, I do everything. For me personally, my morning routine is based around my self-care. So, getting up, going out for a walk, going to the gym, doing what I need to do so that I can go to work. And then when I'm done, my evenings are spent just being a dad. Not being on my phone and just being present. Because he notices. Kids notice. So easy to sit there and you're on your phone and he's just like, Dad. He's nearly 3 and he speaks incredibly well. So, and he'll know, he'll say to me, Dad, sometimes, and I get caught, I think, oh, put it down. So, it's setting boundaries up and making sure that we adhere to them. It's difficult when, as a new dad, you're learning all the time on what you can do to be more present and stuff. But just being really specific on when I start my day. That's kind of my time, and then the rest of the day is business and then family, really. So not letting that to kind of come into that too much, really. But it's all, I'm always learning. I'm 2 years in, nearly 3 years in, so I'm still new to this. It's all learning, But I'm just enjoying the ride. The ride, and again, being present is key. Because this time with him, he's only going to come through once. So if I am being a bit distant, distracted and stuff, the moments that I'm missing will be gone forever. So just trying to pinch yourself at times and recognise, like, when he's doing things, like even when he first walked or talked or whatever. He started BMXing. He's a nutter, honestly. He's got no fear. He is crazy, and it's scary and amazing at the same time, because as much as I encourage him to be fearless and stuff, I think maybe he should be a little bit fear. Like, just you could easily, you know what I mean? It's just gung ho. He's gung ho, man. He's got no barriers. So definitely just making sure that I get my stuff done in the morning, and then I can enjoy the rest of the day being a dad and stuff. So
it's amazing, man. I'm not sure if there would be any expecting fathers watching Progress with us.
Well, you know what? In another 10 years from now, maybe you can look back at this and go, right, self-care routine in the morning, because I work with dads, coach dads, parents, mums as well, and the biggest challenge for them is when they've been at work all day, they want to get, healthy, and, part of that is getting into the gym, but when they've been at work all day, then they say, I ain't got time to spend time with my kids. It's like, well, let's start training in the morning then. It's like, well, I start work at 6. It's like, let's get up at 4 then. It's like 4. It's like, well, but if you want to live this new lifestyle, we're gonna have to. End of the day, nothing changes if nothing changes, does it? So something's got to change. You keep doing what you're doing now. You're gonna keep getting what you're getting. So I just challenge people on that, and I say, well, let's just try it for a few days. That's how we get on. Okay, we've got to go to bed early, but then again, I challenge people. It's like, what are you doing at 9, 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night? And generally we're sat watching telly or just scrolling on his phone. It's like, we could be sleeping. And most people love sleeping. We wake up in the morning and think, I want to stay asleep. It's like, well, take advantage of sleeping earlier. And it does take a little bit of training and stuff, but when my son goes to bed at 7:30, generally 7, 7:30, sometimes 8, but around that time, like I said, I've generally got an hour to then do what I've got to do for the last bits. 9 o'clock comes, power down an hour. Let's be in bed for 9:30, 10. And even if I'm just sat chatting to the missus, a bit of pillow talk, or reading a little book, which again, it might sound, does he do all this stuff really? And I do, but then sometimes I do get caught up with being distracted. It's just being real, but just bedroom, like having a bit of a bedroom environment set up, so that when you do go in there, you're not on your phone. I don't have a TV in my room. Laptop doesn't come in. Like I say, the phone comes in, but the way I charge my phone, it's actually at the bottom of my bed, so I've got to get up and...
You can't just reach down.
And I think, I've done that with clients. Say, well, put your phone... Have you got buy a bedside alarm clock, Amazon, tenner. I just send people the links all the time.
Game changer. I did that. I sleep with my phone on the other side of the room, turned off. And the only reason that I hadn't done that for long is I was like, well, I need my alarm. And then I thought, literally, for £9, I could just order an alarm. And it makes so much difference.
That's what I do to people. I just challenge them. I say, get an alarm. It's like, oh, you have to fire. I just bing, check your WhatsApp. Oh, I've got a link. Sound Prime. It's on Prime as well. Next day delivery. Like, charge your phone in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And
put your phone. It's interesting hearing you talk about all this stuff because it really is. It's like just such small changes can make such a massive difference. But it almost seems they seem too small. To yield that much of a result that people don't really believe it.
No.
Like not going on your phone in like the first 2 hours of the day, there's a statistic. Don't quote me. But it's like you're 60% more likely to want to check your phone throughout the day if you go on it when you first wake up. And if I know that as a fact, I'm just like, right, I'm just gonna do whatever I can not to go on my phone. But it seems too small to be true.
It does, but I think like I said, we're so far away from that stuff now. We're so far away from so much in the way that technology's kind of brought us away from that. But if we can, like say, wake up in the morning, the first hour, but if you don't do the first 2 hours, no phone. But again, that's when I'm in the gym, I'm going for a walk, and again, it's like, well, listen to podcasts, great, we'll put a podcast on, but just don't be scrolling on social media and you're going to get triggered by stuff. Work, emails, like don't be reading no work stuff till you get to work, generally. For me, it's like, I start work most days at 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's when I start working in the office. I'm not on the WhatsApp before then. I've done it before.
If I check my WhatsApp first thing in the morning, I have a heart attack.
It's just, and like I say, once you do one, you get to another, and before you know it, you've spent the morning answering WhatsApps. Or put it this way, I know if I wake up in the morning and I spend 20 minutes, I can wake up really energetic, highly motivated to get out of bed and get stuff done. If I spend an hour or half an hour on my phone or 20 minutes, that energy goes. I'm zapped.
100%.
I just want to stay in bed, keep scrolling.
So bad.
And people all I say to anybody is just try it. Just try it. Like I say, try no phone in your bed. Try a bedtime routine. Wake up with good energy. Wake up with good focus. Good desire to get stuff done. It'll change your life. It'll change your day and change your life. And when people do it, and they say, like I say, they start to feel the benefits. Like, oh my God, this is so good. But again, like anything, old habits die hard. Something might happen, like, have a fantastic week, but then Friday night comes, and then all of a sudden you don't get up in the morning, you might scroll in bed, and then Friday night becomes Saturday night scrolling, and then before you know it, it's Sunday night scrolling, and then before you know it, you're scrolling again every night, you're in that routine again. So that's where obviously, as a coach, accountability and support around that. I do all sorts of accountability tasks around food, where I say, send me food pics, send me a picture in the gym. It might sound like I'm being really petty, but it's like, if you're not sending me the pics, okay, some people might forget sometimes, some meal, but it's like people who need that accountability there. If you're not sending me the pictures consistently enough, I know that you're not doing it. Which is why you're not getting the result.
It's just that thing of like pennies make the pounds, isn't it? It's all the little things.
The compound effect.
To give you whatever the
That's
results
it,
that you want.
Literally. And it's like you say, it's too good to be true when something so small, so easy. Like I said I say to clients, let's just start doing a 20-minute walk a day outside. Forget about how many steps you're doing. Forget about getting outside, fresh air, natural vitamin D, good for your mind, good for your stress, it'll improve your sleep. Let's just do that for now. And it's like, because people think I've got to do an hour's cardio a day, let's say, but just doing 20 minutes a day, and then all of a sudden you get up and do that, you start setting a standard to your morning routine. In the morning, I wake up, I hydrate, and I go for a walk every morning. It's just what I do. And I always feel better for it. And before you know it, 20 minutes becomes 30 minutes, and 30 minutes becomes 40 minutes, and then you just start to create this habit around being outside because it makes you feel better. When I'm stressed, go for a walk. When I'm angry, I go for a walk, or whatever. You start to recognise the benefits of it, but you're not going to get... Again, as human beings, we just want instant gratification, don't we? We want to see... like I say, you go on a phone and you start scrolling TikTok and, you want to see a transformation. It's like we want to see results now and see things now, whereas obviously anything to do with health and fitness or business, it just takes time,
Yeah, 100%.
It's funny because, I had this conversation with clients, and the talk that I did a few months ago was around, the future self, and it's understanding the 5 stages of emotional change, right? But I call it the 5 stages of someone's health journey. And stage 1, which will relate to you guys in business, podcasting, anything, and everything you do. Stage 1 is called uninformed optimism. So when you start something new, podcast, for example, 17 episodes ago, before you did number 1, it was like this exciting around, I want to do podcasts, I want to get amazing guests on, we want to get on YouTube, maybe, we can make a good living out of podcasting, but your focus is, the conversation you're going to have, the people you're going to meet, the setup, sitting on the sofa, sitting on the table, the cameras we're going to use, what mics we're going to get. It's all exciting stuff, isn't it? It's all positive, motivational stuff, and that'll happen in the first few episodes, or for Health on a Health Journey, the first few weeks is that uninformed. So you're not really sure what's going to happen, but you're excited about the outcome, about the long-term vision and stuff, about the result. Then you go into what's called stage 2, which is called informed pessimism. This is where you start to understand, actually, this is not as easy as I thought.
Sounds scarily accurate.
Yeah, podcasting might be like, it's all great, like, look, but then it's hours of editing, we've got to do this, maybe the setup's not right, maybe that might, like, you start to recognise or certain guests come in or times, and for me, it's like, clients recognise, like, so I've got to go walk every day. All right, and I've got to, prep my meals because it's better, or got to go to the gym twice a week. And it's that consistency in doing the basic stuff, and it's like recognising, like, it's not all glitz and glamour, it's not as fun as I thought, but this is what I've got to do. And you kind of go through that for a few weeks or a few months, depending on what the scale of what the project is. But then you'll hit stage 3, which is where people stay and then they, effectively quit, which is called the valley of despair. And this is where you're just struggling now, you're not, for someone on a health journey, they're not getting the results, they're really struggling to stay on plan, they've got no, structure anymore, they're just in this, like, volatile yo-yo dieting, it's just constant, ferocious, like, just inability to be sustainable now, right? And you kind of lost that. Same with podcasts. I'm trying to keep some relatability here. Yeah. Podcasting could be the result. The guests that you've got on haven't been the best. You've not got very good audio sound, or maybe the setup's been wrong, or things are just not happening. And it's like maybe you're struggling to get guests. The value of despair could be the things that you're just struggling to. Nothing's working. Nothing's sticking. You're struggling. And most people quit. The same with business. People stay in that same free cycle. Start a new business, I'm excited to learn loads of money, do all this. Stage 2, it's quite hard actually. I've got to keep doing outreach and doing that, and I've got to keep, creating programs or whatever it is. Stage 3, quit, start again, something new. New business, new idea, blah, 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 same again, yeah? But stage 4 is called informed optimism. So now you know the good, you know the bad. Yeah, you know what you need to do, you just got to keep doing it. Yeah, recognising that there's going to be good days and bad days, but the point is, you understand more around what you need to be doing to get the results and get things done, and working hard to get better guests, or I need to make sure that I build systems in place to help clients get better results or be more accountable, or whatever it is. But you understand what needs to be done, and then stage 5 is you get the results, you become successful basically. Yeah. And I think once you can kind of get through stage 3, because the value of despair is when you're probably in that turmoil and that, like, I've been in there with business and stuff, and you think, can I actually do this? Can I be a successful businessman? Like, I've never run a business for in my life, really. When I was PT and I was just winging it, I was just getting paid every day, cash, it was fun, it was fast, it was easy, but I had no plan, I had no long-term goal, which is kind of why I burnt out, because what's next? I don't know,
I think, Joe, I've definitely experienced the 5-step thing, going into fitness in the past, like, probably 8 weeks, because I've done my first, like, probably big cut, and I'm about, I don't know, pounds wise, 11 kg, about 25 pounds down, something
amazing.
Like that.
Yeah, wicked.
But you get to the stage 3 is like the middle stage where you no longer look big, but you don't look shredded either.
You look soft, like in the soft, skinny.
I'm like, I've lost bare size, I'm losing strength. I've not hit that point where I'm like proper lean yet, but I'm still doing all the steps, eating fuck all, and I'm. But it's like even now, it's working.
I think, but then at some point you might think, is this working?
Yeah, and
is this working?
At that stage, I was like, do you know what?
Is it worth it?
Again. I want to get back up to like 100 kg, you get massive again.
Exactly, and that's where people quit. A lot of people don't ever get shredded because they just go, I'm starving. Because when you're dieting down...
I'm hungry all the time at the moment.
Get comfortable at being hungry, because you're going to be hungry quite a bit.
But now I'm past that stage. I'm like, I feel pretty good to be fair.
And a lot of it's just a mindset, isn't it? Like I say, it's 100%. Emotional change. What's emotion? Emotional's mind. Like, it's just recognising that. And again, it's like, just understanding it more. And for me, it's just, the 5 stages is like relatable in everything we do. And I have to keep telling myself at times when I am struggling, don't get me wrong, and I do get overwhelmed, and you look at social media and think, guy's killing it, he's flying, but unbeknown, sometimes we are struggling, we are going through it, and again, I have to keep pinching myself, zoom out a little bit and be like, right, okay, what do we need to really work on? What's going well, what's not going so well, what do I need to do to be better? I'm doing it right now where I'm just creating a little bit more accountability around my routine. Routine's key. If you've not got no routine in life, routine in business or anything, you're gonna get stuck and you're gonna crash quite a lot and fail. So again, it's just recognising that, and just being okay with sometimes things are not always gonna be going your way. And I think with business, even with fitness, we think, when I get to that weight and I look like that, that's it forever, I'll be sound. But you've still got to work hard when you're there. It just 100%. Sometimes takes a little bit less weight, but you've still got to be consistent. When you lose the weight, you can't just start eating stuff again. You're going to put it back on. So again, it's just recognising that and being able to be, what's, do we want to get comfortable again? And if we get comfy, we know what happens. That's when we slack, we become distracted, we put weight back on, or business starts to fail, no one get no guest, or we stay in the growth phase, which is where we're going to be uncomfortable at times, but we know that we're pursuing something and we're working, towards a bigger picture, really.
I think one thing you just said as well was that having that time to just sometimes take a step back and actually reflect on everything you're doing as well. Because now with all social media and there's a crazy thing around just the hustle culture of never stopping, always going well. But sometimes it is good to just have a minute.
100%. And I think
this is what I'm doing.
100%. What you just said, the hustle culture. I think that sets people up to fail too quick, because you think you've got to be grinding at all hours and day and night. And the biggest thing for me is, for me to be successful, I just got to manage my energy. Because one of my superpowers is having really good energy and being very empathetic and understanding people. I love human connection. Really, as a coach, everything's around human psychology. All my job is, it's not all my job is, but this is how I look at it, is have I done enough to help my client make better decisions? Because, all I'm trying to do is facilitate them, to help them understand, educate, and be able to make better daily decisions around their health, to make them become healthier, fit people, but then also understand that if you want to go out and have a blowout, go and do it. It's okay to still do that. Obviously, we can pros and cons to that, but if you're somebody, I've got clients, client country last year is I want to lose a load of weight, but I love going out the weekend with the boys. Can I still do that? I was like, yeah, you can, but just understand that the goalpost to lose X, Y, weight will just be a little bit longer. But then in my mind, I'm like, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and outline a little bit, when he does have a binge, have a bit of a mad session, I'm going to really help him reflect on how has that impacted his results, and then start to give him the bigger picture, a bit of suggestive work around that. You'll
probably just be kind of mirroring it back to him, because I feel like when you've not got that accountability, you can kind of, when you're only accountable to yourself, you let it go.
Yes.
But when he's got to be accountable to you as well, it's almost like you will just mirror what he was actually feeling, but you don't ask yourself those questions.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people, when it comes to things like just what you said actually about you being accountable to yourself, do we really trust ourselves to do what we said we were going to do? And I think this is why we get coaches and stuff, isn't it? Because we don't really. Big thing for me is saying to someone, I don't know, a lot of clients will say, I'll get up at 7 and I'll go for that walk. It's cool, make sure you do then. But then, if you're doing this on your own, you might have done this yourself, I'm going to wake up at 7, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to get shit done. 7 o'clock comes, snoozing that, tired. Do you know what I mean? I've been on my phone all night, I'm not getting up, I'm tired. So then you snooze it. What you've done though is you broke a promise to yourself. The minute you do it once, you'll do it twice, do it 3 times. It's like saying someone who is on a weight loss program and got to be clean, keep your food really specific at the minute. We want to really get this result. So when you're in the office at work, I know that people bring biscuits in and cakes on Friday, Fat Friday. Really resist the temptation to don't go in the kitchen. Yeah, just don't. It's not going to serve you. But the minute that someone has, you get this. Your friends will go, have one biscuit or eat a good one when you got pub with boys. Yeah, have a beer. I don't drink no more. I'm teetotal. Just have one beer. No, I'm not drinking. Have one beer. No, I'm good. Just have one beer. I don't want to. But the minute you have one, you're not going to have 2. 3, yeah? But then next Friday comes, you can do it. The minute you break your promise once, you can do it again and again. And you just lose that trust. And it's the same the point I'm trying to make as well is you recognise it like this, is if you, say you two go to the gym in the morning, you'll say Jacob, right bro, I'll see you at the gym at 7, and you're like, yeah, sound. You're at the gym at 7, he don't turn up, okay? Ringing him, no answer, okay? An hour later, he rings, oh, sorry bro, overlaid, I'm sorry man, I'll be there tomorrow. No problem, see you in the morning, okay, perfect. Next morning comes, 7 a.m, you're at the gym again, he's not there again, yeah? Bell him again a few times, you can see where this is going. Yeah. By the 3rd or 4th day, he don't turn up, you're probably not going to ring him to see where he is. Yeah. And if he says he's going to be there on Friday, you're probably not going to believe him. It's the same with yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to tell yourself you're going to do something, don't do it. You're just reinforcing that you're never going to do it, and that you're not good enough, and that you're never going to do anything you set out to do. And then, it's the psychology around that, bro. And I hear it and see it and feel it with people and clients all the time, not just in fitness, but in business and anything. And I think, how are you? What are your own expectations? How are you setting yourself up for failure? A lot of time we do it with the first thing we do in the morning. Yeah. Don't tell yourself you're going to do something. Don't do it, because it will come back and get you constantly again and again. So, yeah, that's just something that I think is just interesting around.
I was going to say, Joe, coming back to that 5-step framework as well. Yes. I watched a podcast with Alex Hormozy and Chris Williamson.
Yeah, brilliant.
Insane podcast. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. And there was kind of there was a similar framework that they spoke about in that, and in one of the stages I was like, I'm there.
You're there.
But it's good, for you as a coach to have something like that you can explain to your client, because when they reach that tough stage, it almost no longer feels as daunting, because it's like, this is just where I'm at. This nothing's going wrong necessarily. This is just a part of it, but if you know that, you can get through it. And you as a coach going out there and 100%. Not just learning fitness and diet, but learning these things as well. I think it's great. I think it's really
good. That 100%, and I think the key thing there is you don't feel as alone.
Yeah.
Because people a lot of the time go, you don't know how I feel.
You get to that stage and they're thinking like, what's going on?
Like, why do I feel like this? Like, why do I feel like this? No, you don't understand how I feel. And a lot of the time we do. We all probably feel very similar things. Stress being one of the biggest things where people say, I'm stressed, you don't understand, I'm so busy, I'm overwhelmed and this. It's like, okay, I might not understand you're dealing with stress from your business or health, whatever, but it's like, I do understand stress, I can relate to you. But again, we get so caught up in our own stresses and our own situations, and I think sometimes just recognising, like, if you can give someone a framework and understanding of, what potentially is going to happen on this journey, and then when something does crop up, I'm stressed on this or feel great, it's like, you're here, look. That makes sense. Oh my god,
super key for somebody who's new to something as well.
Yes.
Like I say, if you're like already a bodybuilder or you've been training or whatever, you're probably used to that. But for a lot of people just getting into whether it be fitness or business or whatever, it's quite crucial to have something like that, because it just keeps you going, doesn't it? Really?
I think exactly. And again, like there's no one path that's going to be the you're going to know where you're going all the time. But I think if you've got an expectation of what to probably see and feel, at least when you do get there, and you can say, actually, that does make sense. You don't feel alone all of a sudden. This is actually how I'm meant to feel, or this is part of how I could feel, and I do feel like that. So again, I just think, again, just when we're on any journey, and again, I think we were talking about this pre-podcast actually, like there's this like generation now where this last probably 5-10 years, there's so much around self-development, self-improvement, like people are meditating now and like taking time to like challenge the mental health more. And back in like when I was younger especially, it wasn't really a thing as such. Maybe it was, but I wasn't aware of it as much. But I think social media and stuff have kind of brought that to light now. So there's like I think there's just more awareness around people's self-development journeys and winning on business. And I think a lot of people go on this like lonely road. You might have experienced it yourself when you almost, you got this, you might be a circle of friends and then you kind of go and start doing your own thing, and it's quite a lonely path, isn't it? It's like the lone wolf chapter, whatever, and you're now going through these things on your own. But if you can just have a little bit of a framework around you or some understanding, or like I say, a mentor to just say, this is kind of where you're going and what you may experience, and at least you don't feel as lost. I think at times.
As well, do you know how you said through your coaching you've done kind of event type things with like a hike and things like that? I feel like that's really good as well, because a lot of people that start going on this kind of journey or whatever, whether that be fitness or just for their own I don't know, mental or business or whatever, sometimes if you're kind of moving away from a group that's keeping you in a certain place, you end up, like you say, in a lonely road. But the fact that you've got them events that's helping people brings those kind of people on a similar journey together, and I think that's good, because it can make you feel like you've got people there as well.
100, definitely, like-minded people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like exactly. We're all on this journey effectively together. We're all got our own goals, but we're all doing this to become, let's say, better versions of ourselves. And I think that's for me what it's about now is getting people to wake up and challenge themselves. And stop, giving in to the temptation of this mundane lifestyle and comfort. And I mean, like say, we can go on tangents here and all sorts, but like even with food's like, it's at the centre of everything that most people do, around breakfast, lunch and tea. And we live our life, like you've only got to go to the supermarket and walk down the aisles and you'll see the foods that we eat, the ones that are highly processed and full of crap are generally the ones that have got fantastic pictures of families on it, and like nice, tasty. Do you know what I mean? Like the marketing's smart.
Yeah,
you know, you think that looks right nice. It's like I'm gonna get it. You know, you get pulled in, and at the end of every aisle there's like an offer in there. So, and the food that isn't, you know, processed and crap. Generally, the foods that's organic and stuff, meats or whatever, and veggies are quite. You know, there's no like funness around it, or you know, happy family sat eating a burger and stuff, is it? It's generally it's a burger being like it's healthy. It is healthy, to be fair, if it's made right. But the point is, you know, again, we the world we live in now, it's so it's weird, to be honest. We live in a weird time. I'm trying to wake people up and get them to understand, like, you know, there's more to life and stop giving in to temptation. And you know, if you want to become the better version of yourself and be fitter, be healthy, be stronger, you can. Yeah, you can't just again. It's like it's like starting it, innit? So starting something. The hardest part of anything is doing it.
I think that the whole you were saying about how the self-development movement wasn't really like people weren't really aware of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's just come as like an equal and opposite force to all of the noise and stuff. Like people have gotten to a point where it's like I need to take a step back from the phone or the work or the food or whatever it is. Like it's equal and opposite force.
Drinking's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's such a cultural thing, like.
Especially here in the UK.
Massively. Growing up for me, like I've never been a big drinker ever. Like again, thankfully, I've always been in sports and fitness, and there's always been something that's pulled me. Don't get me wrong, I've had some mad sessions and been on some weekends, and I've done it. But I'm not like somebody who would ever sit in the house and drink, or would just go to the pub after work, or would have a few beers. If I'm drinking, I would be like fully sending it. I'll see you on Monday morning. I think so. But obviously,
I'm not often. You know what I mean? Can't be a send on like a Wednesday where you got work.
No, that's it. But I think, you know, and again, you know, doing that when I was younger, you know, responsibilities and stuff. But it's like there's a challenge around alcohol now, because we know that it doesn't serve us. There's not actually any benefits to drinking alcohol at all. Yeah. Okay, I mean, you could argue a glass of wine could relax you, absolutely. But then the negatives from that is like how it impacts your sleep, your mood, your appetite. Yeah, three major things that's gonna sleep.
It's destroys it. Have you ever worn a Whoop?
No, but I want to get one. Yeah. I had a Fitbit for a while.
I had like a bottle of wine. Wore it to bed. My recovery score was 96% the day before. Dropped to 14. Like no REM sleep.
Don't get no
zero.
Don't sleep. Even though you people think, well, I have a few beers and I'm out cold, mate. It's like, yeah, but you're not sleep. It's the quality of the sleep, isn't it? You're not getting no restoration. You're not getting no recovery. You generally wake up feeling quite ratty. And again, that impacts your hunger hormones. It impacts your mood. Like, it just has such a domino effect onto so many things, and it's from that one thing. But again, we live in a culture where the Western world is built up around drinking alcohol.
Yeah, I think people like. Sorry, I'll cut you off.
No, go on.
I'm going to say, I think. In like in the UK especially, it's such a social thing.
Like
a lot of people probably won't see their friends and a lot of their peers if they're drinking. Like I've noticed even in this year, since I've more or less cut out drinking, just because I just can't be asked to wake up feeling hungover. To be honest, that was the main reason. Like gym and stuff like that. I just really don't see people as much. Like a lot of people that you see all the time, I've not seen them since Christmas or whatever. And it's, to be fair, it's a bit sad in a certain sense, because I've not seen a lot of people that I used to all the time. But I don't know, just.
Right, last question. What are you help people set goals, go on their own journey. What's next for you?
For me is working and helping 1,000 people. That's the goal for me to kind of work towards online.
I like that.
You know, so last year, within my first year, I worked with just under 100. So I kind of want to, again, with the business I've got, scale up and hit that by 2025, which would be incredible. That's why I want to bring in the community, where I can actually work with a bigger crowd of people, but just within a different way of working with them. And just live a good life, man. We live and we die, you know. And for me, it is about being present, seeing my son grow. You know, hopefully he has a family, and just doing good shit, man. Whilst we're here, and trying to just let things go, you know.
You might come on the pod one day. You might grow to be
an
absolute stud.
15 years from now, when he's 18 or just be like, But no. Thank you very much,
Levi. It's been such a pleasure to have you on, honestly.
Bang on, man.
Seriously,
We've been looking forward to this one.
No, me too.
We could sit here and talk all
day. I can say I've officially done my first podcast now.
Yeah, so congratulations. Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate.
We'll chop it there.